There we go. All right. What's going on, everyone? Welcome on into another episode of Sports Today with JJ. My name is Jason Joseph. The Philadelphia Phillies, they take care of business once again and they beat the Arizona Diamondbacks and they're able to extend what is now a 9-game winning streak. That's just insane, man. That's insane. Oh, it's so cool. This Philadelphia Phillies team has just been on such an incredible roll. They've been able to just manufacture so many runs offensively, but on the mound, pitching wise, they've been doing an excellent job in that regard too. I had a lot of questions that I wanted to bring up that I think are very reasonable questions, especially, to ask, like, when Rob Thompson's out there and he's managing the team, and there were some decisions that he made that I was a little bit I didn't understand. Sorry. I understood a couple of the decisions, but it was a little bit questionable to me. That's all I gotta say. But as far as what the Phillies were able to do, they get the job done. They get another big win. And you know what? Now this team is on a 9-game winning streak. And you have to go into tomorrow with another mindset that you can just dominate this team. You can get things done. You just have to try to continue to provide a lot of base runners on the base paths, but also you have to try to find ways to just cash in those runs. And that is what's really important. But as far as the Phillies go, today, not Zach Eflin, Zach Wheeler had a pretty good outing. I know I'm like a little bit all over the place today. It's been a very crazy day for me, but I'm really happy to be on here. Um, Zach Wheeler pitched really well today. He went 6 strong innings, he had 8 strikeouts, 98 pitches, and Rob Thompson, I understood why he only left him in there for 6 innings. I mean, this guy just had a baby. You know, he's a father, and to I got a little bit shaken up over there because I didn't know what Jarius Familia was gonna do. I really didn't, and I was a little nervous about that. When he made that throwing error over to first base and runners were at first and second, eventually bases would become loaded, and that got me a little bit scared. It did, but the Phillies got out of that jam. Ketel Marte comes up with bases loaded, and guess what happens? The Phillies were able to get out of the inning. I thought that some of the bullpen pieces that were used tonight by Rob Thompson were very fascinating, and I wanted to bring that up as well. So you had Familia, you had Brad Hand come into the game, no Corey Knable. Now, after the game was over, Rob Thompson talked about in this press conference how Corey Knable was having some shoulder pain. And that's not a good sign. I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound good to me. And that's a cause of concern because this is a guy that you signed coming into this season to be your ninth inning guy. And if he's not out there in the ninth inning, it sucks. It absolutely blows. So, but look, this Phillies team, they got the W. It's just something that you just have to kind of wonder to yourself, where do they go from here in that sort of a sense? You know what I mean? Like they have to try to find ways to just get other guys in the bullpen involved. I know that Sir Anthony Dominguez didn't have to be used today, and I thought that that was totally fine. It is what it is. Try to give him a little bit of some rest because maybe you might have to use him tomorrow. Matt Vierling getting the start over at second base. I know I'm like all over the place. Trust me, I know. This is my first time doing this in quite some time. If you're new to my channel on YouTube, speaking of getting off track, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. I really appreciate that. And if you're on Colorcast, make sure that you follow me and make sure that you heart this podcast as much as possible. So, what was I saying? Oh, yes. Okay, so going back to Matt Vierling playing over at second base. So Didi got Didi got the day off today, and I don't know about it. I think that I guess it makes sense because maybe he'll be in the lineup tomorrow. But they were going up against Madison Bumgarner. Now, Madison Bumgarner didn't necessarily have the best game at all by any means, but he hasn't been the same. He hasn't been the same type of a pitcher that he was when he was dominating with the San Francisco Giants, and that's just a matter of fact. But he's still, in my eyes, he still is like an okay pitcher. He's not gonna dominate the strike zone like he once did. But today he had an okay outing. The Phillies, they had opportunities. They took advantage of most of them, and they didn't leave as many base runners on as they did in the last couple of games. But I thought that they could have done a better job at certain moments just to try to, extend the inning a little bit more, make that pitch count go up, and it just didn't happen. But at the end of the day, Zach Wheeler did outduel Madison Bumgarner. And Wheeler today, I thought, had a pretty good outing. Only allowed 2 hits. He had 9 strikeouts there as the game went on. And that was a little bit shaky to me at certain times. Kyle Schwarber had a really good day, offensively speaking. Nick Castellanos, how about a check swing RBI double for that man? The other night it was Didi. Tonight it was Nick Castellanos. He couldn't even believe that it was fair. Oh man. Oh, these check swing doubles. But that just excuse me, I don't know why I'm burping so much. That just goes to show though that this team is just on some sort of momentum. There's some sort of momentum that is just being enforced in that locker room and in that clubhouse. And you can see why the players are going out there and they're just coming out on top. They're getting the wins. They're playing with their hearts and souls out there. And that is so important. That's vital. This is what the team was not doing under Joe Girardi. Joe Girardi wasn't a player's coach. I'm not saying that all players' coaches are the best coaches or players' managers, in this case, are the best managers because no, that's not always the case. But Rob Thompson just has them playing a little bit differently. He's simplifying the game, he's making it fun. JT, how you feeling today? I can start. Okay. That's what he did a couple of days ago. Sat JT yesterday. Puts him back in today. And I like that. I like that he's communicating with everybody. He wants everyone to buy in. I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of putting Corey Knable in there in the ninth inning because he's been struggling, especially when he loaded those bases in Milwaukee. I got very scared. But he said it best. You got to live and die with Corey Knable because you paid him all that money. And if it's not working out, okay. Then you go on to something new. But at least give him a shot. And I think that that is what the Phillies have been doing. And I give them credit for that. Excuse me for just 1 second. Sorry about that. But anyhow, yeah, this Phillies team has been doing a pretty good job overall. I wanted to get to some of the questionable calls that I had from Rob Thompson as far as what he did with that bullpen. And you got to bear with me for a second because I wrote all this down. I have notes right here. Um, where is it? Where is it? Okay, so here it is. Right. So Jerry's Familia's out there, and all of a sudden you put in Andrew Bellotti, to come in just to pitch to Ketel Marte. Bellotti hasn't really had a whole lot of outings this season. And I thought, okay, statistically speaking, you want that sort of a matchup. That makes sense. Okay, but just from a logistical standpoint, you have bases loaded and you have their best hitter coming up to pinch hit with bases loaded in that seventh inning and you're only up by 3 runs. I would not want it done. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. But I got to be honest with you guys. I thought that that was a very questionable decision. And if I'm not honest with you guys, then my name's not JJ. My name is not Jason Joseph. So I'm an honest person and I tell it like it is. So I thought that that was a little bit questionable. I also thought it was an interesting decision. This was not a questionable decision, but when they put um in that ninth inning, when they put in Christopher Sanchez, I liked that. I actually thought that that was a really nice move, and Sanchez today looked like his stuff was really on, and I appreciate that. He stayed calm, cool, collective out there on the mound, and I liked that. I think that this guy definitely has something in there that he can utilize in this bullpen, because this bullpen's absolutely gonna need him. If Sir Anthony's not having his night, okay. If Brad Hand's not having his night, fine. If Connor Brogdon's not having his night, that's fine. You can put this guy in different positions to succeed. And I like the fact how he was going out there to pitch. I just didn't know if in that ninth inning it was the right spot because they were only up by 4. Maybe I would have done it if they were up by 5, but also he's fresh. And you don't really have a lot of guys out of the bullpen that have been very well rested. So again, I understand the whole philosophy, but I thought that that was a questionable call at the time, and it paid out, and it paid out. And the Phillies got the win, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Now let's talk about the offense. This offense to me has just been very deadly. They have been so much fun to watch. They've been raking a lot of baseballs, and I am all here for it. I love it so much. This team really has put me on a ride. They've taken me on a roller coaster, and I'm all here for it. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about this on Colorcast, but I was at the point where I was saying to myself, I don't know if I can trust this team. I really don't. I don't know if I could trust this team because with the way that they're playing, it's like if they're up 4-2, you don't know if they're gonna blow the lead. You don't know, like, when Bryce Harper gets you that go-ahead home run against Kenley Jansen in that Atlanta series, and then all of a sudden in that bottom of the ninth inning, the Phillies lose. Those were the types of games that you were getting. But now it's a totally different vibe. This team is winning ball games. They're playing very collectively, and they're just playing a great brand of baseball that I don't think anybody saw coming with the way that things were playing out, if that makes sense. So, oh man, but but yeah, the offense has been doing really well. I like how Reese Hoskins has been swinging the bat very smoothly. It looks like he's just swinging through the baseball, and he's putting up really good cuts on his swings and his plate approach. He seems to be more patient at the plate. He's going the opposite field. He's not always hitting for power. He's just trying to put a good barrel on the baseball, and I like that. I like that a lot. And I've been waiting for a hot Reese Hoskins to come up to the plate, and it took a little bit of time, but you know what? We have it now, and it's great. I love it. I love it so much, man. Um, and Bryce Harper. Bryce continues to swing the bat very well. So you know, he's been doing really well, and that's awesome. Um, but this Phillies team, they've been playing super well, and yeah, I'm all here for it. How about I talked about Castellanos, but there was another thing I wanted to talk about as well. Bryson Stott almost made a hell of a throw over to first base in that ninth inning to get the final out, but it was an infield single. I forget who it was, but that's definitely gonna bug me. But I thought that that was really cool. I thought that that was great. So he almost was able to make that play, and man, that would have been that totally would have been something for sure. So, but yeah, Phillies go back at it tomorrow, 1:30 or 1:05. Is it 1:05? I think it's 1:35 p.m. Eastern time. My questions going into tomorrow are the following. How will they continue to carry this momentum going into tomorrow? Will they take their foot off the gas pedal and get a little bit too comfy? And how will today's decisions from the bullpen impact tomorrow's decisions from Rob Thompson? Almost said Rob Manfred. Almost, but it didn't happen. And that's something that just remains to be seen. So I'm a little shocked because I thought that this whole Joe Girardi thing was getting taken a little bit overboard. Not gonna lie to you guys. I just really thought that, with this team, man, with the way that this team was playing, I was just thinking to myself, in the world is Rob Thompson just gonna come in here and change the entire culture? And you know what? It makes a lot of sense because if it weren't for Rob Thompson, this team is not playing the brand of baseball that they're playing right now. Now, didn't they win 9 in a row? Or sorry, yeah, of course they won 9 in a row. That's like the stupidest thing you could ever say. Come on, Jason. Yeah, of course. But what I'm trying to say is, did they win one with Joe Girardi before he got fired? Yes. But you were in a spot where you had to do something. If you were David Dombrowski, you had to do something to just help spice up this offense. And because, yeah, you were disappointed with the bullpen. Yes, you were disappointed with the way that things were going. But what you signed up for this entire season was to just let these batters hit. The batters had to show up. The Kyle Schwarbers, the Bryce Harpers, the Nick Castellanoses. They needed to rake. And if they weren't raking, this team was going to go nowhere. So they just really needed offense. And they weren't getting that offensive production. They would get it some nights, but then other nights, it would only be like 2 runs. If you're putting up 10 runs one night and then 2 runs the next night, that's literally how the Phillies were in the months of April and June, or April and May. So, but now it's a totally different story. And I'm all here for it. And I'm at the point now where I trust them. I really do. If they're down 5-3, I trust that the Phillies are going to come back and respond. Now, are they going to win the rest of the way? No, most likely, no. But it certainly doesn't feel like that right now because they just continue to win and they're taking care of business. But they have to get the sweep tomorrow. I want to be if I'm going to be satisfied, I want to see 10. Give me 10 in a row, baby. 10 in a row, and I would love it. I apologize about the connection. That really does suck. I have to try to find a way to make that better. I really do. But as far as this team goes, when you talk about the hitters and all that sort of stuff, the hitters have been doing a pretty good job. And I like how they have that next man up mentality. I've been kind of talking about it. I talked about it on somebody's podcast, how this team kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Denver Nuggets. Okay. Now, the reason why I say the Denver Nuggets, I'm not talking about this season's Denver Nuggets. First of all, let me preface what I'm saying. I'm talking about that 2014 Denver Nuggets team that had Andre Iguodala, Andre Miller, Kenneth Faried, Ty Lawson, all those guys. Now, yes, were they? You can make the argument that Bryce Harper at an MVP level is not Ty Lawson or not Kenneth Faried. Okay, like I totally understand that, but my point that I'm trying to make is that the Phillies have that next man up mentality. And even though Denver didn't have a lot of stars, the players that were on that team were all bought in to help make those extra passes, to set screens for other people, to fill in these roles that just made sense. And they were all bought into that. And the Phillies right now, they're in the same sort of boat. It's just something to be said. So Anyhow, so yeah, they're they're on an incredible winning streak. And I can't wait to see what they do next. I also would really like to talk about the depth of this team. Alec Bohm didn't necessarily have the best series. Now, he did have a really nice dive and play over at third base, and I thought maybe he was going to turn two and he was going to turn into a gold glover type of an Alec Bohm. It didn't happen, but it almost did. Got the lead run out over at second. I believe that that was in the ninth. It was in the ninth inning. It was. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty sick. I'm not going to lie. But yes, so this Phillies team, or yeah, Alec Bohm did pretty good. Defensively, not so good offensively. I think he's been in a slump again. He's putting up Alec Bohm type of things, and Bryson Stott just continues to just be this incredible young hitter, this incredible young player that just says to Rob Thompson, "Put me in the lineup every night." I'm all here for it. I love it. I think that it's awesome. This dude just loves to play the game of baseball. He'll play over at second. He'll play over at third. He'll play over at short. It doesn't matter where you put him. Defensively, he's locked in. He's on this whole nother level right now. And now's the time to just keep playing him. The fact that Joe Girardi just didn't go to him and just didn't stick with him was shocking to me. I saw this guy last year play for the Jersey Shore Blue Claws, played a little bit of third, played a little bit of short. And I said to myself, this dude's going to be a really good player for the Phillies. The Phillies haven't had a really good draft pick in such a long time. Could Alcone be that guy? Sure, he could be. But Bryson Stott, Bryson Stott is playing on a whole nother level right now. And man, is it fun to watch. It's so much fun, man. It's cool. Um, Matt Vierling too. How about Matt Vierling playing over at second base? I think I brought that up a little bit ago, but Vierling today, he had he almost threw an error over the first base at one time, but I know that he didn't really have the best at bats today, but I like him. I do. I think he can be somebody that if you need somebody defensively to like come in during the ninth inning because you're facing a really good opponent and his spot is not coming up until like the seventh part of the batting order, like if he gets finished his at bat in the top of the ninth inning and then you go to the bottom of the ninth, you can put him in over at center field and then for 3 innings, you don't really have to worry about it potentially speaking. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I like Matt Vierling. I like the way Odubel Herrera's been playing lately too. Odubel has been playing an interesting brand of baseball. I think that everybody on this team is just playing with a little bit of fire. And I'm curious to see what happens once Gene Segura comes back because guess what? Second base is going to be very competitive now. You got Gene Segura over there. You got Bryson Stott over there. Johan Camargo is going to come back eventually. Who's going to play over at second? I think that it's cool how everybody's fighting for these positions, but it remains to be seen. And I'm very interested to see what happens. So, 135 start tomorrow. Phillies hoping to try to close things out. And that's just what they're going to need. They're going to need a really good start from their starting pitching tomorrow. I don't know who is on the mound tomorrow. Oh man, am I really that tired? I really am. That's crazy. Phillies. Who starts tomorrow? Oh man, Phillies starter tomorrow. Oh man. Now my internet doesn't want to work. That's great. That's just great. Okay. Well, all right. Let me try one more thing. Let's see if this works. Phillies starting pitcher tomorrow. I can't believe I don't even know who takes the rubber tomorrow. That really ticks me off. It's slipping out of my head. If somebody in the chat could tell me, that I would really appreciate that. Who's starting tomorrow for the Phillies? Phillies starting pitcher tomorrow. Um, is it Eflin? Is it Zach Eflin? No, Eflin just pitched like not too long ago. I don't know. Ranger Suarez. Okay, there we go. Ranger Suarez. I can't believe that it took me that long. But Ranger Suarez, man. Ranger Suarez is going to be out there tomorrow, and I'm interested to see what he does because I think that he's coming off of a pretty strong outing. Did really well in his last time out. And you know what? I'm curious to see what he does next. You know, off of that 7 innings and didn't allow an earned run or one or only allowed 2 earned runs. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm really tired. I gotta go to bed soon. I really do, but man. But long story short, I'm gonna be doing these more. I want to be doing more of these post game recaps because I think it's just so important. And if I want to go into broadcasting, if I want to go into podcasting, this is exactly what I got to be doing. So happy I came on here to talk to you guys. This was fun. And you know what? Again, if you're on YouTube, make sure that you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, and also make sure that you continue to follow me on YouTube and on Colorcast as well. Um, Before I go, actually, I did just want to say that the one thing that I really do like from this Phillies offense is that they just have something in them that has just been helping them when it comes to those two strike approaches. You look at Bryson Stott. I think that Greg Murphy talked about it the other day when he interviewed Bryson Stott. He asked him, "What's been different when you're at the plate?" And Bryson said that I'm more calm when I have two strikes on me and I don't use my pivot foot as much. And I literally just rotate my hands a little bit more. And that's what he's been doing. And those simple things really do make a difference. They might be little things, but I notice it. I do. I notice those things. So that's all I gotta say. But with that, we're gonna shut things down. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank you all so much for listening. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.